Oh, hey! Listen, welcome back to my channel. I am Sammy, Sam Marie, Samantha Marie Lot, if you will. And if you can't tell, I'm having a fantastic morning, a fantastic day. If you're new here, I'm 28. I'm a psych PA. I own a small business where I make smoothies and smoothie bowls for a living. I am an avid reader, book enthusiast, hobby collector. I think I said some words mixed up, jumbled up in there, but welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing the Ultimate Bookish Girl Summer, the Ultimate Bookish Girl Summer Vlog, Summer Reading Vlog, Summer Situation. We're taking summer, we're taking Hot Girl Summer. Basically, we're taking it, if we're allowed to say it, Hot Girl Summer, Hot Girl Walk, Hot Girls Read. That's kind of the situation that we're going to be giving today, and I would love if you would join me. I am going to leave these sunglasses on for this clip if that is okay with you guys. One, it's giving to the vibes, right? Is it? Agree with me, please. And two, I'm a little bit gross. You know what I mean? I had a sweaty morning. It's hot as outside, and I don't think that word needs to be censored, but where was I going with this? Okay, so we're having a morning. Happy 4th of July weekend. Happy 4th of July, the day that is. I was supposed to go with my husband somewhere, but I cannot get in the car anymore. I've had a back injury. I'm trying to fight through it. Every time I go on a road trip, I get set back 3 weeks. So I'm really trying to push forward, heal fully, and then I'll have a good and fun time again. So I'm hanging out by myself with my animals. So this morning I did lay around and play on my phone for a little while. I mean, heaven forbid, just give me a break. Everybody relax. Then I decided, you know what, let me get my booty up and go to the gym. I have been doing Pilates and yoga at a studio. However, sometimes classes are like a hard situation to get into. Depends on the day. I didn't have one scheduled for today. I do have one scheduled for tomorrow, but that's okay because I think I needed a little day off from that because I'm working a lot of little intricate muscles and my hips are quite sore from that, and that's kind of a target area. Hey, bestie, why are we beefing? But anyways, I'm doing like a 75 soft situation. I know this is not what you're here for. We're here for bugs, but I'm doing a 75 soft situation. I don't have anything to track my steps, but I'm just gonna like incorporate walking more. So like I don't know if it's gonna be 10,000 steps. I don't know if it's gonna be 5,000. That's probably more than I'm walking now because of this back injury. When I do the cardio that I'm gonna do, whether that's like on my walking pad, walk outside, stair climber at the gym, I'm gonna read a book that I am intimidated by. I know 75 hard is normally a nonfiction book. Listen, if I wanted to read a nonfiction book, I would just listen to a podcast. You know what I mean? I am not interested really in any that. There's none speaking to me currently at this time. I'm not interested. I don't want to do it. You know what I do want to do though is run down this physical TBR. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna read books during this like 75 soft. When I'm doing that exercise situation, I'm gonna read books that I'm intimidated by. So this morning went to the gym, did 30 minutes on the stair climber. Don't know the last time I ever did that. And while I was doing that, I read The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. I don't know too much about the situation at hand. I know there was some earthquake crazy situation. A man just came out of a big stone. There's obelisks in the sky. I don't know. I don't know. It's crazy. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's what I did this morning. But so then I went into Target, got my face wash. And then you know what's right by Target? Books A Million. You don't know because you don't know where I live, but Books A Million is right there. So I did go to Books A Million because Tia Williams did come out with a new book about a month ago and I still don't have it, and so I had to go and get it. So I did get Tia Williams' The Missed Connection. This is obviously going to be a romance, but I don't know too much. I think context clues are giving somebody's missing a flight, and that's probably important, I'm guessing. Listen, if Tia Williams is writing it, I'm going to be reading with it. I have only read one of her books, and it was 7 Days in June. I'm going to read more of her backlist. However, it's one of the most romantic writing I've ever read. I loved it, and that's what I have to say about that. However, you know, I was in there, and I've been on a journey to find, geez Louise, my cats are getting crazy. I've been on a hunt for the correct version of Play Along, the cover. And when I say correct, I mean correct, you know, and that's not the current ones because those are not correct. Me personally, I can't get behind those. I need the correct version on my shelf because Isaiah Rhodes and Ryan Shea are my two favorite of the Windy City series. Those men. Those men. Okay, a moment of silence for those men, everybody. Yeah. Because of that though, I was going to the bargain section. Books A Million has a massive bargain section. I figured if they're gonna have it anywhere, of course I looked in the romance, I looked in the Tom Forty of it all. They did have the original of Caught Up, but all the other ones, they had the new versions. I went to the bargain section, I figured maybe they're just trying to get rid of them. But I went back there, couldn't find it, and it's okay. Because you know what I did find? I mean, I'm sad about it. I'm gonna get it, and maybe I'll just get it off Amazon, but I'd love to like find it somewhere. So I might, next time we're up in Pittsburgh, I might go to Half Price Books and just see if I can find it there. But guess what I did find? Real. By Kennedy Ryan. Now you might be thinking, if you've been here before, I've got Before I Let Go on my physical TBR and I haven't read it yet. And yes, I'm gonna read it before the summer's over. Trust in that, I'm gonna read it before the summer's over. This one for some reason speaks to me more, and earlier I thought it was because it was a sports romance, but I think maybe it's not a sports romance. But I just feel like I remember seeing some TikTok or something. I don't know. I'm more interested in this book than I am the other one, but I'm interested. I'm gonna read both of them at some point. But this was $5.97, huh? $5.97? $5.97 for a Kennedy Ryan book? Yeah, I'll take it. On my way out, oh my goodness, I was like, I wonder what the hype is about this book, because I've been seeing it places. I've been seeing it out and about. I don't know, I was never like really drawn to it for any reason. I don't know, there's no rhyme or reason. It just wasn't catching my eye. However, I was in the store and I was like, let me read the back of this. That's Sunburn by Chloe Michelle Howarth. It had me at this. Never in all my years of Christianity has there been talk of an angel like this. My God, she is not even walking. She floats around the room. Shut up. Sold. So I had a fantastic freaking morning. I went to Target. I went to the bookstore. I went to the gym. But cheers to you guys. I'm having a Ghost Bubblicious. Everybody comment down below. What are you drinking? If you haven't had one of these yet, go ahead and have one, because oh my God, it just tastes exactly like Bubblicious. Guys, I think Ghost is so slept on because they have some of the best flavors. The green apple warheads, that's my favorite energy drink. Period, end of story. If you want to feel alive again, if you want to remember that you're on this earth breathing, take a sip of that. I'll see you later. I wish you guys could smell this seasoning because it's genuinely the best thing I've ever smelled. Buttery garlic and herb. Highly recommend. Just me and Bestie. Oh, is that what we needed? Oh, you're scratch. You're probably asking yourself, why is she making ground chicken in a pot with a spoon? Because everything else is in that bad boy behind me. In that dishwasher. Right there. That dishwasher right there. Miley, you may resume. I know this isn't safe, but like, what else can a girl do? What else? Oh, it was pretty safe. It just is super duper uneven. Okay. I fear the plate's looking a little bit crazy, but I want avocado toast. I need protein, carrots, celery, and hummus. Like, that'll do it, you know, for a hot day like today. So I'm gonna eat this, probably watch a little YouTube. We're gonna read my book at some point. We're gonna do something bookish at some point, trust. Guys, is she the cutest thing or what? You're joking. This is actually my best friend. It's suddenly thunderstorming. Not sure what that's all about. Let's talk about the book. I'm currently reading The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. This is so good so far. When people say this is funny, like they're not messing around. This is funny. The female main character is funny. The book in general is funny. We're following Anna and Liam. Anna and Liam had this arranged marriage situation because they wanted family housing on... Yeah, and that's the thunder. Can you hear that? That's fucking nuts. Anyways, didn't know this was occurring today. Wow. Okay. This is not giving my... Why does it sound like it's exploding? Guys, I'm scared. They, in college, they decided to get married because if you get married, you can get the family housing, which is a lot cheaper. Suddenly, Liam shows back up and Anna is down bad. She's just lost her job over a very stupid reason. It's giving like a little bit of a sexual harassment situation on the person who fired her. And he shows back up and he's like, oh my goodness gracious. So I actually need your help, but you seem like you need help, but I need your help because we actually never got divorced. I needed to be married to you for 5 years so that way I could get my inheritance. We actually don't get divorced until September. There's a wedding. They're going on this like 10-day excursion for this wedding. He needs her to come to pretend that they are still together. Last he knew, she was in medical school. She's no longer doing that, but because of that, he is given this illusion that his wife does these mission trips, like these, not mission trips, but like Doctors Without Borders, and like she's in Cambodia and stuff, and she's got a degree in fine arts. She did not go to medical school, and his parents are not gonna like love to hear that, so she's like, well, I gotta memorize like the human anatomy. I gotta know what a fever is now. So that's kind of where we're at. She just went on this first class flight for the first time, but I'm gonna try to read this and walk on the walking pad for a little bit, see how that goes. And then I'd love to just keep reading this tonight, get comfy cozy, maybe put something on in the background and read this book, but I'm loving this so far. Okay, I got like a little over 30 minutes of walking and reading in. This guy's really scared because it's storming outside. I think we're gonna go downstairs, take a shower, get comfy cozy, and keep reading this book. It is so good. I read Love in Other Words. That's the only other book I've read by this author, and I enjoyed it, but it wasn't like this crazy phenomenon that I had seen other people experience reading it. But this is so good. They are having to share a bed, and she says, no hands or feet or boners on my side, sir. And then he says, if my boner could reach that side, I think you'd be intrigued. She said, I would be, you're right. They're so funny. Oh my gosh, they had to take a shower, and the shower situation is like more of a romantic situation. Like when you go to these all-inclusives, like it's often that the shower is just like see-through on both sides. And she peeks while he's in the shower and they make eye contact, and then she like hides on the covers. He comes out and he's like, calm down, I peeked too. Okay, Liam. I'd love to like get pretty far into it, honestly. Sunday. Let's just pull up a chair. Okay, so the rest of the night, I think I left you when I did my steps and it was storming. I showered, I ate some dinner, crazy night, and then I just read the rest of the night. I didn't film any of that. I am on chapter 21, page 185. Guys, this is so good. I love this. I'm having the best time. I took some pictures because I haven't been really like annotating it or anything. Oh, okay. They get ready like for one of the nights and he's like floored by how beautiful she is, and she thinks his reaction is because of like she's not dressed appropriately for the occasion, and she's like, I knew the lips were too much, and he said, don't you fucking touch the lips. Oh, thank you. Yeah, okay. And then she's like, and then they're just like funny. Like when there's these moments of this tension and stuff and this connection building, they do break it with humor. And I kind of enjoy that it's almost addressed in a sort of way. So she goes on to say, sorry, I just got out of bed and so I have like cat hair on my face because my cat likes to sleep on my head. She says, you have horny eyes. And he says, yeah, well... What do you want me to do about it? He kisses her in public and kind of makes a scene of it. And she says, Weston, who knew you had it in you? He smiles knowingly down at me. I'm pretty sure you did. Oh my gosh, and then there's this whole thing of she has this tan line from her bikini, and he like feels like he's like very possessive over it, and he mindlessly, like when he's stressed out, keeps touching it and stuff on her shoulder, and it's just like, this is so good, guys. Unexpected, but really, really good. Because again, I liked Love in Other Words, but it wasn't anything crazy. But Christina Lauren, they did their big one with this one. They did their big one. But right now, I'm going to get ready for the gym. So I'm going to go do the stair climber and read the 5th season on Kindle. Because I don't think I can like hold this and be like, do you know what I mean? I'd probably trip and fall. And then I have a hot Pilates later tonight at 7 o'clock. Why is the class at 7 o'clock on a Sunday? I should be done with any outside activities on a Sunday by like 2 or 3 o'clock. But we're probably gonna finish this today, okay? And then we'll read something else. I think I want to low-key, high-key, I kind of want to read Sunburn. There's some other books I was gonna read during this, like Ashley Poston's new book, which still could. This is really like grabbing me for some reason. Okay, I'm gonna go. Hey, it's been a little bit of time. I don't think I filmed anything, but now it's getting like a little bit closer to my next class's time. Like I probably have 3 hours now. So for this little intermission of time, we're just gonna be reading this. We'll see how far we can get through. If I could like lock in for 3 hours, I could probably finish it. So I'm gonna sit here and read this. That's the plan for today. Bestie girl came to lay down with her mom. I did read the scene that this was from. Fantastic. 5 stars. They're at the spa and she got her nails like very crazy long. And because of it, she's been needing like assistance with unbuttoning something, zipping something. And so she shows him the nails and she's like, hey, while I was at the spa, I figured I'd get these shortened. She says, I think he looks a little disappointed. And then he says, what will I do with all the free time I have not helping you get dressed? It's just time we talk about this. I just finished this as we're speaking. I did in fact finish it 20 minutes before the goal time to get it done. So cheers to us. I mean, I think I'm gonna have to give this a big fat 5 stars. Okay, so if you don't know anything about this book, if I haven't said anything, we're following Liam and Anna. They get married in undergrad because of family housing is cheaper. They're both just trying to survive college and get through college. So they do this family housing so they can live for cheaper together. So they get married. There's other types of stipulations to this marriage, which I will get into. I don't know, Jacqueline doesn't like it when I shut the door for some reason. So there's more stipulations, but she's kind of like a go with the flow. She's not reading the fine print. They are to be married for 5 years, so that way he can get his inheritance. But things get sticky. Now they have to go on a family vacation to pretend like they're still married. So nobody thinks that they lied about the marriage because he won't get the inheritance until 5 years. They can divorce afterwards. So now she's got to go on this wedding. It's his sister's, his little sister's wedding, and it's on a deserted tropical island. This was fantastic. Writing, fantastic. Some of the quirkiness, the funniness, the vibe of the female main character was giving a little bit of like an Allie Hazelwood main character. Not copy and paste in any sort of way, but if you like Allie Hazelwood books, I think you would enjoy this. Definitely, just like the quirkiness, the silliness. This book was funny. Like, this was funny. I was giggling, I was laughing, but it also had undertones of like hitting on pretty heavy topics and good communication in a relationship during the whole time, because Anna comes from a totally different situation than he does, a totally different financial situation, but the gravity of what comes with that financial benefit that he had and the trauma that he has is different than the type of trauma she's gonna have. She's hilarious and funny, but she's also so level-headed, empathetic, and understanding. Her patience is genuinely none other. I'm obsessed with this female main character. I really enjoyed the male main character too. I mean, some of the quotes are freaking fantastic. I was not sure if I was going to rate it a full 5 stars because there's a couple moments I was like, like she calls him sweetie at some point and it just didn't feel right. Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes they suddenly say something and you're just like, that didn't feel right. Like that didn't feel natural coming out of your mouth. But I'm choosing to ignore it because suddenly they are trying to rekindle like the family, get everybody back together. And she says, we get to decide how much of our hearts we want to give them. And like so simple, but also so profound. I think if you've ever dealt with like a toxic or troubling family situation, hearing those words could maybe heal a little bit of something in you and just remind you of like, hey, you don't have to give yourself fully over to anybody anymore if they've just repeatedly broken your trust time and time again. This was fantastic. I'm obsessed with this. I was obsessed with the chemistry of the couple. I was obsessed with all the messaging, the little nodes to how corrupt the medical system is at this point and the access to medicine and how expensive things are. It also touched on like it's pretty unethical to be a billionaire this day and age, and it was all around. It was perfect. This was perfect. I love that I read it during the summer, but I also would have loved to read this any time of the year. I love a summer romance and this was done so well. And yeah, so right now I am about to get ready to go to hot Pilates. I do believe my husband just booked in to go as well. Perhaps we'll start another book tonight. I'm not super duper confident. Like sometimes when you come off the high of a 5-star, it's almost dangerous to dip into a new book. I have been reading the 5th season for my soft 75 soft, so maybe I'll just pick up that, except I don't know. House of the Dragon, the new episode might have came out, so I might not even read later tonight. But some things that I'm thinking about is definitely 2 of the books I just purchased. I would read Kennedy Ryan's Real, but I feel like that's not giving summer romance summertime, so I might read Sunburn or I might read The Mist Connection. I have some really good contenders, so I'm not totally sure what we're gonna pick up. Wow. What a time. Hey besties, I wanted to sit down and talk about some of my favorite, my absolute favorite summer romances. I don't think I read enough of summer romances, but summer romances contain quite a lot of my 5-star reads. Guys, I'm looking at 5-star reads that are all summer romances. Why am I not reading more? We'll start with the ones that aren't 5 stars. This summer will be different. Carly Fortune, she is the queen of a summer romance on the northeastern lake, maybe northeastern oceans, I'm not sure. Northeastern summers. In this book, we're following Lucy and Felix. Lucy's a tourist. She's coming on, it's Prince Edward Island for the first time to see her friend and meet her family. She goes there, she meets this boy while she's waiting to meet with her friend and their family. They have like this super perfect, wonderful romantic night, and then they find out that is her best friend's brother. So things get sticky. There's a lot of tension, and every summer they're going to this island again. They are trying to keep this hidden, a secret from her sister, which is not my favorite thing in the world. I think there could have been some better communication done in this book, which is why it's not a full 5-star, but this is 4-star region for me. The setting was perfect. Another book that I think would be fantastic for the summertime that is up in that 4-star region for me is The Ex-Vows by Jessica Joyce. In this, we're following Georgia and Eli. They have a mutual best friend. The 3 of them grew up together, were all besties. Eli and Georgia end up deciding that they should be romantically involved. Things went a little haywire. We don't know exactly what happened yet. We're kind of going to past things, then we're coming back to the present. They now have to come back together because they are both like maid and groom of honor, or whatever the word is. Best man and best woman is what they are for their best friend. And of course they're finding each other in so many circumstances where they have to work together to make this the best wedding ever for their best friend, as one does traditionally when your best friend's wedding is coming up. I think the wedding setting of it all makes it so fun and so romantic. There's one scene in this particularly in the pool scene. If you know, you know. This is a recent read, and I don't know that it's great to classify it as a summer read, but it It feels summery. There's a lot of swimming going on. So why not put her here? This is Please Don't Go By E. Salvador. This is #1 in the Midnight Strike series. I have been on her page. I don't see any commotion, any talk about when Midnight Strike 2 is coming out. And that's a little bit presenting me with an issue because I do want the next book in this. And if it's not the 2 characters that I'm looking for it to be, I might crash out a little bit because that means I'm years away from reading their book. There's 2 characters in here. The male main character, his best friend, and his sister. There seems to be something happening there. But anyways, we're following Josephine and Danielle. They meet in circumstances that are not so great. Not going to mention that though, because this is a book. If you need trigger warnings, definitely go ahead and read them. This is definitely heavy, so it's not really giving summer, but I think it's the swimming of it all that feels summery. Like, summer feels like a great time to read this. But these 2, it's grumpy sunshine, but reversed. So the female main character, she's grumpy, he's sunshine, but they're both dealing with grief in different ways for different types of people in their life, for different types of love, and how that has affected them over time and how it has affected them differently. How someone could be the brightest, most sunshiny person in the room, but you have no idea what's going on behind closed doors and in their mind, whereas somebody else could have a different reaction. They might seem a little bit more standoffish, maybe mean at sometimes, maybe grumpy at sometimes because of the way they're grieving. And it's just a really good representation of how grief can look really different for 2 people, but how 2 people can come together, find each other, heal on their own, but also heal together. It was beautiful. Highly recommend. Okay, so now for all my 5 stars. These are my 5-star summer romance reads. We could talk about the most recent one. I've already talked about this in this vlog, so we don't need to get into it, but this was a 5-star. I can't see anybody not enjoying this. I don't know who this wouldn't work for. Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. This is interconnected with the first one, Part of Your World. The next one's Yours Truly. And then the last one that's interconnected in this world is Just for the Summer. And this one we're following Emma and Justin, who both have this curse. They find out on a Reddit thread that they have the same curse. Everybody they date, the second they break up with them, the next person they date will be the love of their life. So they assume if they date, they could break this curse together. It's kind of silly, kind of goofy reason. But they come together, they're gonna have 4 dates. 1 breakup, 1 kiss, 1 kiss, 1 breakup, and then go on with the rest of their lives. It's very easy for this to happen because Emma's a travel nurse, so she can kind of make it work with her schedule. So they come together, but this goes on such a whirlwind. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Abby Jimenez's like peak talent is she knows how to write a beautiful, fluffy romance in super not fluffy, not beautiful circumstances. Both of these characters are going through a lot. I really related to Emma and what she deals with like having a toxic, dependent family member and what that looks like and the struggles with that. And Justin is going through this huge life change and taking on all this responsibility. Their love story was perfect, but I also think their stories individually as characters held up so strong throughout this book, and this was by far 5 stars. This is one of my favorite reads. I've read this so far this entire year. One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune. This was in one of my top 3 books of 2020. The last year we just had, 2025. Wow, I think this was in the top reads for a lot of people last year because not only did Carly Fortune absolutely nail the location, the setting of it, she also nailed the romance, the characters. We're following Charlie Florek, and it says, I never anticipated Charlie Florek, and I don't think the rest of us knew what was coming. A lot of people had read Every Summer After before because that's the correct thing to do. You learn about Charlie, you know about Charlie through that book. You might not like him as much through that book. I did not read that book and I jumped right into this one. I didn't know they were interconnected. I had no idea. I don't know how I missed that, but I did. I think I picked this up because the first one I read was This Summer Will Be Different because I think somebody recommended it, like if you like Happy Place, which we'll see later, I like Happy Place, that you would like that. So I picked it up for that reason, and then I picked it up a little bit before this one had just been released. So I was like, why wouldn't I just like skip to this one, right? And we're following Charlie Florek and Alice. It's a little bit of a trip for her grandma, but also a trip for herself. They're both in a place in their lives where they kind of need something fresh, something new. So they're going there. Charlie is going to make the cabin that they're staying at, the cottage, handicapped accessible, and so they start texting back and forth, and then like when they first run into each other at the grocery store. And Alice is such an interesting person to follow because she's a photographer, so seeing everything through her lens is very, very fun. Like the first time that you meet Charlie Florrick and how she describes him and like his face and all the perfect little intricacies, because she's looking at things different from a photographer mind than somebody who's not a photographer. Me, I'm not a photographer. She's looking at things differently than I ever would. This says, there's something about Charlie that calms the part of my brain that constantly worries about saying the wrong thing. And I think that's such a way to find if you've met somebody who's going to be a part of your life forever, whether that's romantically or in a friendship. Is like you sit with them and you can be quiet and it's not weird. You can sit with them and you can say anything that comes to your mind, no filter, and you don't have to have anxiety or a spiral about like, oh, was I weird the whole time? Was I weird? Problematic Summer Romance by Ali Hazelwood. This probably surprised me the most. I didn't know that this was going to end up here. I think I kind of started to get nervous when Ali Hazelwood was kind of changing up where she was going, because I liked her formula. I liked the STEM romances of it all. So like when the other ones started to come out, I was like, I don't know about this. Like, and each one that's new, that's different, I kept being like, I don't know if I'm gonna like it. I don't know if I'm gonna like it. But Not in Love and Problematic Summer Romance are some of my top tier. I guess Not in Love is a little bit closer to home because of the STEM romance of it all. Like, it's still a STEM romance, but this is an age gap. We're following Maya and Connor Hart. They are coming together because the characters in Not in Love are getting married in this book, because the main character in Not in Love, Eli, is Maya's older brother and also works with Connor. I'm just not reading this. Maya's 23 and Connor's 38, so it is an age gap. It just didn't feel like, I don't know that I noticed that too much, but this is the perfect summer read. It's set in a villa in, I'm pretty sure in Italy. They're coming together for a wedding. It was so special to see characters that I loved so much in a different book through somebody else's point of view and still love those characters. They kind of get into this friendship situation because she's trying to get a hold of Eli, can't get a hold of him, but gets a hold of Connor. He ends up being like a support system for her. Things are problematic. Connor does not want to cross this line because of the age gap, because of the brother of it all. I read this at a really troubling time. Like, life was very, very difficult and I needed such a sweet escape, and that's what this was. And then of course, tried and true, this is probably my first ever summer specific romance. I did have a Colleen Hoover era right after I graduated from PA school, because when I graduated from PA school, I was like, wow, it's finally my opportunity to read new books again. I had done a lot of rereads throughout my time in PA school because PA school is hard and stressful, and I did not want to delve into a whole new world when I was already in a whole new world of medicine. So I used to, when I was in PA school, I would just reread the same books that I knew that I loved, like over and over and over and over again. So after PA school, I would go to Barnes & Noble, and like Colleen Hoover was everywhere at the time, and I didn't have a TikTok, wasn't on BookTok, wasn't on Bookstagram, wasn't on any of the things, and so I used to just like read her books. So I'm not sure if any of those were summer romances or not. So other than those, Happy Place was the first summer romance I ever read, and obviously I just reread it for the first time, and I annotated it while we were in Punta Cana. And yeah, this is one of my favorite books of all time. It's set up in the Northeast. It's a Northeastern summer in a cottage. They're eating lobster rolls. It's so nostalgic to a period of time in my life, but also at the time that I read this, I really, really related to Harriet, and parts of me still do relate to her, but a lot of parts of me have grown up past her from when I first read it, because it was years ago that I read it. It feels like reading like an old piece of me, an ode to old me. I'm still part of this and I still have parts of her, but I've grown up from it, and I think that's like really, really cool. I think what I'll be taking from this is a reminder to read more summer romances ASAP, because obviously it's working for me. Hey, it's been a little bit. You don't know that. It's been seconds for you. It's been days for me. Just been busy with the bowls, with our small smoothie bowl business. Now it's time to sit down and continue this summer girl reading vlog, okay? I have been reading Sunburn by Chloe Michelle Howarth over the last few days in the midst of everything going on. And so I figured right now we could sit down and we could chat about some books that are on my priority TBR for the rest of the summertime, before the summer season is over, okay? I think before we even get into that, it is important to know I'm on my 4th set of getting my nails done. Not getting my nails done, but doing them myself. I would argue those are pretty good. This is my priority TBR for the rest of the summer. This is what I would like to get into before the season is over. I would say, personally myself, I think this is quite a list. I think we have some 5 stars in this pile. I don't know which ones are going to be them yet, but I do feel like this is a 5-star worthy pile. You know, there's something in here that's going to hit home. So first and foremost, I am reading this. I saw a lot of buzz about it, and then I went to the bookstore recently and I was like, let me just see like what is the hype about? Why is everybody excited about this? I don't know anything about this book. And all it says is, never in all of my years of Christianity has there been a talk of an angel like this. My God, she is not even walking. She floats around the room. And I was like, wow, that sounds pretty romantic if I do say so myself. The teenage yearning and angst is so heavy in this book so far, and I'm really enjoying it. Ashley Poston's new book. This is The Someday Garden. Number 1, Ashley Poston nails it every time with her covers. Some of my favorite books, some of my favorite covers. This says, every garden has its secrets. And Carly Fortune said, consider me Ashley Poston's greatest admirer. Same girl, but I'm also your greatest admirer. And we're following Sophie Dreer. She is spending her summer on the coast of Maine, and she has a temporary job revitalizing the grounds at Lilymore House. But it says she doesn't expect to fall in love. And I guess there's this magical door that's going to appear in multiple places throughout the house. There's always a touch of magical realism. I'm excited about it, and I think this should be read in the summer. My favorite very specific niche is a summer romance, but a summer romance spent on a northeastern coast. Like PEI of the Carly Fortune of it all. The Maine of the Emily Henry of it all. Next, Kennedy Ryan's Real. I don't know if this is really meant for the summer or not, but I did see somebody put this in a summer book recs recommendation specific video, and I figured, okay, well then I'll read it in the summer. If somebody well-seasoned is telling me to do this, then I'll do it, okay? I know we're following Neva Saint, and she is ready for the spotlight. She's been the understudy, and I guess she's maybe going to become the lead, the main study, perhaps, the number 1 study, the above study. There's probably cat hair all over this t-shirt, but we're just gonna have to get on board with it. I don't know, but this is priority. I'm very excited about this one. Of course, it wouldn't be a summer reading priority TBR list if Carly Fortune wasn't on it. I haven't read Our Perfect Storm yet, but I would love to soon. I know these are childhood best friends, long-term best friends. She was about to get married. He leaves her at the altar. She decides to go on her planned prepaid honeymoon with her best friend to kind of get over this little hump. Perhaps they fall in love, but I do know Carly Fortune will set the scene and she'll do it right. The Missed Connection, Tia Williams. Again, don't know that it's like very summer specific, but I feel like the cover is giving summer. And I also just finally read like the summary of the book, or like the little preview to the book. And basically our female main character goes on a flight. She has this crazy whirlwind rush of a conversation and feelings with a man on her flight. They don't give each other any information. They don't exchange numbers. They don't exchange emails. She goes to email her best friend to be like, hey, can we figure out who this guy in CF was? She ends up accidentally messaging the whole entire company, and so the company goes on like a worldwide search for this man because she fears she just missed out on the love of her life. That idea mixed with Tia Williams' writing is going to be so romantic. I can already feel it. I already know it. Abby Jimenez, The Night We Met. This book is getting into like a whole new branch of a world. I believe like her last 3 books were in a world. The 3 books before that were all interconnected. I know this is a boyfriend's best friend trope, so I've heard some mixed reviews because of that. I guess there's some situation where like somebody picks somebody up and I don't know, they met or something. In everyone's life, there's a split-second decision that can change everything. For Larissa, it came when choosing which guy to ride home with after a concert. I don't know. I know Abby Jimenez wrote it, so I'm going to read it. I know this looks like a summer sunset, 4th of July fireworks. Summer's the time to do it, okay? And then lastly, but by far certainly not least, In Her Own League by Liz Tomforty. I don't care if I read this in the summer, the fall, the winter, the spring. It's just summer is the season we're in, and I want to read this like now. I just want to read this as soon as possible. This one we're following Emmett Montgomery. He is Miller Montgomery's father, but he's also the coach of the Rhodes brothers. There is a new owner of the team, a female. She is the daughter of the previous owner, and I know the relationship is going to be between those two. I mean, what can I say? Like, sports romance, Liz Tomforty, Emmett Montgomery. Need I say more? Obviously, I want to read this. Now that we got through that, gosh, that was like challenging. It's hot in here. My cat is being crazy. She has the zoomies. Do you guys know that feeling of like looking at books and you're like, oh my gosh, there might be a 5-star in there? Because that's crazy. There's definitely a 5-star in there. But I think we're going to finish up Sunburn throughout this vlog, talk about it at the end of it, and then that'll be a wrap on this one. The day has finally come that we're wrapping things up here. It probably hasn't felt that long for you, but maybe it has. But this has been like a week or so. Like, this has been weeks in the making. Things got busy. I didn't have time to read. Didn't have time to do anything but make some freaking smoothie bowls. I have now finished Sunburn by Chloe Michelle Howarth. This feels like right now that I'm speaking to you guys, but also my cat Jack has just decided to sit right in front of me, so it's kind of like I'm giving her like a little book review. Would you like that, or you just want to scratch behind the ear? This is essentially this is a coming of age story, but also a story of coming out. We are following Lucy, who has grown up in 90s Ireland, a heavily Catholic centered little town. She doesn't really know too much outside of her little town of Crossmore. But I think to really understand this book and try to get into the mindset of our main character, you have to recognize like what the times would have been like, right? Because she is unlikable. She's an unlikable character. She ends up starting to develop feelings for her best friend, one of her best girlfriends. She is just feeling how, quote, sinful this behavior feels and how she can't do this. Essentially, she ends up making a lot of really bad decisions because everything she's been taught, this type of love would seem evil, although it's obviously not. But what she has grown up with and the circumstances she has grown up with, the only way her mom is going to love her is if she goes off and marries a boy who is going to take care of them. That's the only way she's going to be able to keep her friends, keep her family. It just leads to so many bad decisions. She really hurts a lot of people along the way. She hurts herself. I really hated a lot of the decisions she was making. But again, I think to put yourself in her shoes, and this is why representation and access is so important, because again, you're thinking 90s Ireland, all she knows is the people that she's grown up with. She doesn't know outside of that, right? She's not on the internet. She's not on social media every day. I mean, in the middle of this book is like the first time she uses a computer and sends an email. Things are not accessible the way they are now. But again, I think this is a really nice way to highlight how important representation is, because when you are watching TV and you finally see somebody that acknowledges something in you, that is really important and could be potentially life-changing, especially for somebody like Lucy. She did a lot of terrible things, and I do think it's never okay to justify your bad behavior. Like, it kind of goes with the same thing with like mental health, and she obviously goes through a lot of mental health struggles, and I don't think you can forever blame bad behavior away on things like that. I do think you're going to make mistakes and have bad behavior because of things like that. You can't forever behave that way. You can't never learn from your experiences and from your behavior. You do have to grow. You can't treat people poorly and always come back to blame it on this one thing. And if you are ever in a position where your mental health might create some bad behavior, it's good to start having those types of conversations with the people you love, but also with a therapist and somebody who can help you to develop better coping skills. You know what I mean? So I think I probably would rate this about like a 3.25. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed some of the quotes. I really did not enjoy some other quotes. Spit grosses me out. It was the worst part about my husband playing baseball in high school and college, was just that they're always like spitting something out. They talk about this in like quite a grotesque manner, and like talking about the way Susanna is chewing her food, or the way Lucy bit her lip and there was a cobweb of spit that came. Like, that was a little bit gross for me, but there were some really, really romantic and beautiful lines. Like, here's one: being alone with her now, I feel like I'm the nearest I have ever been to God. I do what I can to breathe air, to metabolize my food, to speak and to listen, but it is not easy. Her softest exhale is like my own personal dog whistle. When she taps her nails on the desk, I feel the same rhythm in my throat and in my stomach as my food turns to vomit. Like, it's romantic, but it gets so gross really quickly. But yeah, you can always see like the conflict Lucy is undergoing. She's aware she's being really, really hurting a lot of people, but then she doesn't do anything to change it. I really, really feel so sorry for one of the characters who was just led on for far, far, far too long. I'm glad I read it. I don't think it'll ever be a book that I go to reread at any point in time. That is finally everything for this little ultimate summer bookish girl time. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Happy reading.